Coming up on Unpeeled, the American Music Award nominations have been released.
Beyonce's ATHLEISURE line with Adidas drops this week.
Apple is including music services on Apple TV+.
All that and more on a Halloween edition of Unpeeled. It starts right now.
And I'm Carmella Boykin. Happy Halloween, Unpeelers. Let's start sweet instead of spooky. After 4 years of dating, Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton are engaged. The couple made the announcement on Instagram earlier this week. In his post, the country music star said, "Hey, at Gwen Stefani, thanks for saving my 2020 and the rest of my life." Aw, that's adorable. And it looks like Gwen and Blake weren't the only ones celebrating this week. The nominations for the American Music Awards were announced earlier this week. The Weeknd and Roddy Ricch led the pack with a whopping 8 nominations each, including the top prize of Artist of the Year for both. Also up for the top prize are familiar faces Justin Bieber, Post Malone, and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has won more AMAs than any other artist at 29, with a chance for 4 more this year.
It was a good year for the newcomers as well. 5 of 6 new Artist of the Year nominees secured 3 or more nominations. Megan Thee Stallion led that group with 5. It's also a big year for the AMAs. This year's show features several new categories, including new honors for rap, hip-hop, and Latin music. The awards will air live on ABC from the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles on November 22nd. And Carmella, gotta be completely honest, I think I'm going to be pulling for Taylor Swift in this one. I'm not going to say I'm a Swiftie. I've always felt she got a little more hate than she deserved. She's got the most AMAs ever. Last year, she won Artist of the Decade. She's got the most Artist of the Year wins with 5 and coming off Folklore, which slapped, by the way. She could be in a position for 6th, and as a sports fan, I'm always looking for records to be broken.
Oh, absolutely. And I have to agree with you on the records point. But for Artist of the Year, I'd have to say that I'm really rooting for Post Malone. He's really grown on me, and his album, Hollywood is Bleeding, was pretty good as well. But someone I feel like who didn't get enough love was Dua Lipa. Over the summer, she released an album called Future Nostalgia, and she was nominated for her song Don't Start Now. But I thought Future Nostalgia was iconic, and it didn't get as much love as it should have.
I really do love Dua Lipa. She's a queen. It does feel kind of weird to be holding award shows in the middle of an ongoing pandemic. However, the AMAs, they did get a vote of confidence earlier this month when the Billboard Music Awards went off without a problem. So they did do that with a live audience, still kind of weird. Going to be interesting to see how this one goes.
Oh, absolutely. I think the one challenge, though, they're going to have, and I'm curious how they plan to do it, is retaining the audience. With the BBMAs, they received the lowest viewership in the history of the BBMAs. It was down 62% from the previous year. So I think it's going to be a challenge for them, but I'm looking forward to see what they do.
Absolutely. Staying in news with musicians, Beyonce and Adidas are teaming up to drop the second Adidas X Ivy Park collection. The athleisure set, called Drip 2, is set to release online on October 29th and in stores the following day. The first collection dropped in January and sold out almost instantly, yet there was still some backlash, especially from the plus-size community. The collection was criticized for its limited size selection, especially with Beyonce being a staunch advocate for diversity.
That's right, Sam. And this time, Beyonce incorporated the criticism into the drop sizes on the gender-neutral collection, and they'll go up to 4XL. The drop features everything from pantsuits to jumpsuits and stilettos to sneakers. Beyonce previewed some of her items on her Instagram this week with captions such as, "Where is your beast mode?" and "Where do your dreams lie?" And Sam, I have got to say, I am so excited for this drop. I have always been an Adidas stan, but the fact that Queen Bee is collaborating with them is absolutely amazing. The color scheme is really nice. I've got to say, I like the silhouettes from last collection a little bit more. They seemed a bit more wearable to me. However, I don't think I'd really wear the pieces in this collection myself, but I do love the colors, and the yellow, there's a yellow see-through like duster jacket. It looks absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely, there's some really fascinating designs here. I'm not super into fashion myself, but I'm trying to keep up with you here. Some of the stuff seems like you could wear to the gym and get by with that, and some of it almost looks more appropriate for a night out. But I'll be honest, Carmella, all of it looks really comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely like peak designer athleisure. It's where there's athletic clothes, but they have a little bit of clout. Definitely the kind of fit you'd want to sport on your Instagram.
Absolutely, and it doesn't seem like it's going to break the bank too much. This is not the most expensive, designer set that I've seen. The most expensive piece in this set is $200, which not terrible. I'm going to be honest. There are worse. And in more music news, Apple is making its presence felt in the streaming game. Last week, the tech giant launched Apple Music TV, a new way for listeners to experience Apple Music for free. Here to tell us what it means about Apple going forward is Unpeeled's industry reporter, Yao Bonsu.
Thanks, Sam, for not only introducing me, but making me wear pumpkins on my head, whoever's idea that was. I'm not going to name any names, but I appreciate it a lot. But back to our main industry story of the week. For all you vintage MTV fans out there, let's call Apple's latest move a revival. The streaming game is once again being defined, this time because of the company's latest launch. Apple Music TV is a 24-hour live stream of pop music from all of your favorite artists. It includes exclusive premieres, live shows, countdowns, and even some special guests. Apple must have realized that more people are using Spotify. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to find new ways to separate themselves. Making this continuous video stream free allows users to kind of get a taste of what Apple Music can do for them. The process is simple. Have people watch Apple Music TV, have them indulge in it a little, and then hopefully they like it enough to subscribe to the full service. It is a move similar to a free trial, except this free trial never ends. Apple kicked off the launch with their top 100 most streamed songs of all time, and the tech giant is certainly off to a good start. And in terms of my projection, it will continue for years to come. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Yao. We could have more news about what you're going to watch on your screen at home. Daniel Craig's last appearance as James Bond is set to come out soon, and MGM may be striking a deal with a streaming service to release the movie No Time to Die. Here with the details is our film reporter, Caroline Plant.
Alrighty, Unpeelers, 007 is coming back. The release of No Time to Die has been pushed back once again due to COVID-19 related concerns. The movie industry has clearly taken a hit since the start of the pandemic. Movies being released in theaters have proven to be far less profitable than in past years due to the lack of theaters open, willingness of people to go, and social distancing guidelines. It has recently been rumored that MGM will be making a deal with the streaming service to release No Time to Die. MGM allegedly offered No Time to Die to Netflix, Apple, and Amazon for $600 million for a one-year license to the film. However, the streaming services were not willing to put up that amount of money for a one-year license. No Time to Die has been pushed back to be released April 2nd, 2021, in hopes that the film industry bounces back. However, it is still unclear whether MGM will settle with the deal with the streaming service at that later date, depending on the state of the pandemic. Happy Halloween, and be sure to catch No Time to Die this coming April.
Coming up on Unpeeled, Sony is putting streaming services on the PS5. Find out what that means for the new gaming console.
But first, we've got Pat's Pick of the Week. Stay tuned to find out what you should watch this Halloween. Halloween is just around the corner, but there's one question that haunts the souls of any viewer. What horror shows should you watch? Well, our television reporter, Patrick Gunn, is digging up one classic that will make you scream. Netflix's Haunting of Bly Manor is Pat's Pick of the Week. So Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Hey Patrick.
Sorry, I think I just got lost for a moment. My costume is as a Bly Manor worker, and I think I just got so caught up in the show, I think I just lost myself a bit. Hopefully that doesn't happen during the segment.
Oh, shoot. All right, well, hopefully not.
Yeah.
What is this show about? And I guess it connects to another Netflix show. So what is that? Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, so first off, just going on the show, it's loosely based on the work of author Henry James, in particular his novel The Turn of the Screw, and it centers around an American au pair or governess named Danny Clayton, who is coming over to England to this house, Bly Manor, to look after the Wingrave children, Miles and Flora. And they're obviously a little bit shell-shocked because their parents died a couple years ago in a tragic accident. And so then there's obviously Danny coming over to England with a tragic backstory of her own. So it's just kind of all together a harsh environment. And the reason why I'm saying it's a little bit connected is because the creator, Mike Flanagan, is the second series in his like haunting anthology verse, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. And they also created the Haunting of Hill House 2 years ago, which was more about the haunting book series. So this is a little bit a different book, different author, and a different house.
Well, how does this show compare to House when you look in terms of content?
It's in some ways, if you're looking at it like from the pure just like basics of it, there's a lot of things that's similar about it because they're both dealing with a haunted house, both dealing with families and dealing with grief, both dealing with ghosts. It's just a lot of that similar. The way this is different, this is taking a little bit more of a gothic approach looking at Bly Manor, And like it's also just a lot more about the family, the way the family's drama is, like the way in particular looking at guilt, looking at memory, how things are changing with that. It's just like a little bit more, there's a different direction than the first show.
Now, if you're not familiar with the segment, this show is Pat's Pick of the Week. So Patrick, why is it your pick of the week? Why should people watch it?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons to watch it. First off, it's the cast, and I forgot to mention this before. A lot of the same actors actually are coming back. Victoria Petretti, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Henry James. Not Henry James, he's the author. That would be Henry Thomas, excuse me, from E.T. A lot of those actors come back, and they're all fantastic. In particular, Victoria Pedretti as Danny is amazing. It's a very different character from Hill House, and it really shows her range. And just like the way they center on these different characters, their difference. I don't want to spoil too much because that's kind of part of the fun and like thinking about is like the way it ends. But the way the characters' drama and the way they all interact with each other and the way it's gone together, it's just really, really great and a great Halloween show.
Awesome, Patrick. Thank you so much. We'll definitely have to check it out.
Sony is pulling out all the stops to make sure the PS5 is the console you buy this holiday season. They've announced that they will be introducing a new media remote to enhance the console's entertainment experience. We welcome back to the show Unpeeled's industry reporter Yao Bonsu to break down whether or not this puts the PS5 on top. Yao, welcome so much back to the show. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be back, honestly. Let's get into it.
Let's get right into it. As you said, things are getting kind of, every time there's a new remote coming out for a console, things are getting more and more complicated. So what are the new features on this new media remote?
This media remote is going to have all of your favorite streaming and music services, Disney+, Netflix, Spotify, YouTube. That is all going to be included in the remote. And then you have your basic features, your built-in play and pause, your fast forward, your fast reverse. All of this makes for one unique remote.
Absolutely. So how much does this make it easier for the PS5 to be used when you want to do some streaming?
Well, everybody knows at this point that video games are not everything. And I'm glad that Sony recognizes this because now they want to get into the streaming game. If people are not playing Spider-Man, as I know you love, they're going to be streaming music, they're going to be streaming movies, and at least that gives Sony an excuse to know that users are still using their console.
Right. I know that this probably doesn't push the needle for me because I'm probably still going to get the PS5. Like you said, I want to get the new Spider-Man game. But does this addition put the PS5 over the Xbox Series X for you?
It doesn't. And I spoke to CitrusTV legend and our tech reporter Ricky Sayre about this a few weeks ago. The Xbox Series X simply is over the top compared to the PS5. It's basically a PS5. It allows all past games on Xbox to be played on the console. And on top of that, the color green is just better than the color blue, if I'm being honest. But all jokes aside, Xbox Series X is the better console at the end of the day.
If you say so, yeah.
It is. It is.
All right. Coming up on Unpeeled, Ariana Grande releases a new song and music video. Find out what to expect on her album that drops this Friday. Welcome back, Unpeelers. The MLB season is complete after a fascinating World Series. Unpeeled sports reporter Chris Sachi puts a bow on the 2020 campaign, starting with huge developments from last night. And Chris, welcome in, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a blast and maybe our last time talking baseball for a while.
Be a shame. Baseball fans, both you and I, we were both watching the game last night. So Chris, break it down for us. What happened?
Well, the biggest news, of course, is the Dodgers win for the first time since 1988, vanquishing some playoff demons. But an even bigger story was that Blake Snell, roll the tape, Liam, he was dealing all night long, allowed just 2 hits and 9 strikeouts, and he was pulled early by manager Kevin Cash. And this is, like I mentioned last week, kind of a clash with new school, old school. Like I said, pitchers used to go the entire game almost. And there's Cash taking him out. Snell's not happy. He's a competitor. And the move backfired almost immediately afterwards. Nick Anderson came in and relinquished the lead. But an even bigger story might be that Justin Turner was removed from the game during the 7th inning. No one really knew why until the end. It was actually COVID-19 that forced him to leave the game. But if you can roll the tape again, Liam, he actually was back out onto the field celebrating with teammates just after that, sometimes without a mask on, and sitting next to cancer survivor and manager Dave Roberts. There's also some children there for that championship celebration. So that story and those two might even overshadow the World Series itself.
I know that a lot of Dodger fans were still absolutely celebrating this win after the fact. Me, not a Dodger fan, my focus was on this positive COVID test, and I know for a lot of people it was the same. So, Chris, in your opinion, does this Turner moment overshadow the actual World Series?
Look, I wouldn't blame people for saying so. For me, though, I think an epic postseason and an epic series as a whole can give you some good memories. I mean, let's not forget, Clayton Kershaw is well on his way towards a Hall of Fame career. He needed that championship win to validate his greatness. He also had the Dodgers, as you see here, robbing home runs throughout the postseason, left and right. in that spacious field down there in Arlington, Texas. He also had a attempting a steal of home, which you almost never see in this series. And to cap it off, the Dodgers had an epic, the Rays had an epic Game 4 victory, which ended on a crazy play.
Right, Game 4, one of my favorites. Now let's talk about season as a whole. What are your thoughts on this 60-game kind of sprint season that we had?
Well, look, I mean, the beauty of baseball is that there's games every day from about March to November, 162 games. So you cut that over 100. For a lot of traditional fans, it didn't have that same feel to it, and especially with the injuries piling up due to a condensed 60-game season, didn't do enough for some people.
On Friday, Ariana Grande released her newest single, Positions. Since its release only a few days ago, Positions has topped charts across the world. Unpeeled music reporter Mia McGregor is here to tell us all about the song's release and when to expect a full-length album. So Mia, what led to the release of this new single?
So, in the weeks leading up to the song's release, Grande posted photos on Instagram, hinting at a new single, hinting at a new album, but never explicitly said anything about it. And I think that got fans, so curious, so excited for what's to come with all these hints coming out on social media. And I think that's the main reason that she dropped the single alone, to kind of give fans a little bait, get them a little bit more excited for the album to come. So that was definitely the main reason that the single came out before the entire extended album.
So when this song came out, I was super, super excited, but it also came out with the music video. So what made that video so special?
So the music video was really cool. It actually depicts Grande as the President of the United States. She's in the White House. She has a whole cabinet, of an entire female cabinet, completely diverse. She's in the Oval Office. You see her walking down the hallways of the White House. And that got fans really excited because, being so close to the election, it was very, very relevant. But this was not the first time that Grande's been so politically active on media. She's actually posted a lot of voting resources, a lot of information about the election in the past weeks, which makes sense because she enjoys being politically active on social media, and with the election so close, it only makes sense that she released such a political music video for her song.
And in this music video, people got really excited, like you said. Fans got really excited. This was a little bit of taste of more Ariana. When can we expect more music from her?
So the official release date of the album is actually October 30th, so this Friday. But she posted on Instagram the entire track list for the album, and that got fans so excited because it includes a lot of stars like Doja Cat, The Weeknd, a lot of big name stars, and their respective fan bases saw that, also got so excited for Grande's new album. So I think the preview of the track list really, really got people ready to go. So it's a good thing she released the song so quick, in advance to the album.
Absolutely, we'll have to keep a lookout for it. Our music reporter, Mia McGregor, thank you so much.
Well, coming up, I will break down a crazy episode of The Bachelorette and when we could see Claire Crawley leave the bubble and Tayshia Adams come in. Stay tuned. Last night, we saw a riveting third episode of The Bachelorette. Drama from start to finish, and it started with Yosef confronting Claire. Look, he had a point about the dodgeball date being a little bit inappropriate, but he went about it the wrong way. He was rude and disrespectful, flat out embarrassed himself. So good riddance getting rid of Yosef. But who was there to confront Claire right after that all went down? You guessed it, Dale. And this episode, like the first two, all about Dale. It's just obvious at this point that Claire isn't giving any of the other guys a chance. She even said on the group date with Zach that she wishes Dale were here. She wasn't happy with the other guys after they roasted Dale, perhaps forgetting it was a roast session. But look, the guys were upset after Dale said to the entire group that he was the best suited for Claire, which wasn't a good move, bro. Come on, don't say that in front of the group. And then at the end of the group date, Claire does the unprecedented and doesn't give out a group date rose. We've never seen that. She's all in on Dale. We all know that. And because of that, who knows, she might run off with Dale next week, and Tayshia Adams might be on the way very, very soon, Carmella. It's going to be very, very interesting.
So, Will, you mentioned Tayshia Adams, and she actually was shown in next week's trailer?
Yes, so that is very fascinating to follow. Tayshia Adams is someone that we've heard a lot about who could potentially come in and replace Claire Crawley. But this is the first time that ABC has seemingly confirmed those rumors. She was in the trailer for next week. So we've seen it on Twitter, we've seen it on Facebook, all social media that she was going to come in. But that's the first time that ABC has shown her in a tease for this season, which is very significant.
Interesting. So, Will, what are your thoughts on how Claire has handled the Dale situation.
You know, Carmella, I've always said that if I was ever the Bachelor, I would know on night one who my wife would be. I really do believe that.
Okay.
And I think that there are a lot of other bachelors and bachelorettes that have been on the show in the past that have also kind of known who the one is on night one. But they haven't shown it. They've hidden it out of respect to the show, out of respect to the other people. But Claire hasn't done that. Everyone knows their connection. And that's why I think that next week, she's leaving the bubble. Tayshia Adams might be coming in.
Interesting. We have some hot takes from our resident Bachelor reporter, Will Scott. Thank you so much. Coming up on Unpeeled, Sam and I are playing a Halloween game called Phantom Word. Find out who the true Halloween expert is after the break. Welcome back to Unpeeled. Sam and I are now going to play a little bit of a Halloween game. It's called Phantom Word. So a clue to the Phantom Word will appear on the screen one by one. The letters in the Phantom Word will be revealed. And the first host to guess the Phantom Word gets the point. Sam, are you ready?
I'm always ready to go with the game.
Heck yeah, let's go.
All right.
Boo, I say to you.
Oh, this is an easy one. Ghost.
Shoot. Well, there you go. My orange body calls this place home.
I'm thinking something maybe jack-o'-lantern. No.
Ooh.
Pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch.
Oh,
I think I
shoot.
got that one.
Oh, that was
I think I got that one. I'm up 2-0. It's not easy being green.
Kermit the Frog.
That was what I was thinking too.
Frankenstein. Hey,
She got it. Frankenstein.
All right.
Okay. 2-1.
This is the scariest day.
Dia de los Muertos. No.
The scariest day. What would be a scary? A test day?
Let's keep it going, guys. Come on.
The scariest day. Friday the 13th.
It was the 3 that got me. That was an easy one.
That's okay. The worst place to be in a horror movie. At home.
Oh, man.
Anywhere
movie theater?
with your family.
Cabin by the woods. Haunted house. Let's go.
Ooh.
All right. 3-2 me. 3-2 me.
All right. Is
that
that
an
sharp
H,
or
or-
snap and used to bite?
I am sharp and
used to bite. Fangs. Oh, used to bite.
She's got it. 3-3.
Got you. Cross the street. If you see me, I'm a bad luck, a black cat. Is that a tie?
Yeah,
that
I think we'll call
that has
it
to be a tie. I may grow on the ground, but I can protect you from werewolves. A tree? Tree stump. Wooden stake. Huh? What protects you from werewolves? I didn't pay attention enough in Harry Potter.
Potatoes.
Serums.
Nope.
Coleslaw. What?
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane.
Let's go.
Oh, I would have
That's
never
a big
gotten that.
one. All right.
All right. That's all we have for you on our little game.
Yeah.
Be sure to tune in to CitrusTV for our Election Day special. Coverage starts at 8:30 on Tuesday, November 3rd. You can watch at citrustv.com/live or download the OTN app on Roku. I'm Carmella Boykin.
I'm Sam Lebowitz. Be sure to follow us on Citrus TV on Twitter and Instagram at Citrus TV Entertainment. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with more entertainment news.